You threw a word in there that is typical of, and I'm not saying you are, because we've been on for a while, and it's a pleasure to speak with you and explore these issues. But usually, when the word debate is thrown in there, it's usually also put in with argue, and I'm not. And when someone asks a question of evidence, it's not an issue. It's not an invitation to debate. It's just the prosecution has the burden of proving. The one who makes the proponent of the argument always bears the burden of proof, and that's true even in the courts, as corrupt and as I believe, Steve, that they are. But even that holds. So my asking a question, what evidence do you have to support this legal claim? Whether we're in or out of court, the claim is made all day. So whether someone's in or out of court is completely irrelevant, really, to whether or not there is evidence to support the claim. And from what I'm getting from you, and you've said it a number of times, it's not a matter of evidence. It's a matter of theory, and that you're considering it axiomatic, that we're taking it as true because other people have said so. I mean, would that be an accurate characterization?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's yeah. Yeah, it's a starting point. The laws apply, and the question is, does this law apply to does the law that you cannot speed, does it apply in the case of this person? Has this person sped? That's what we want to have evidence about. But
you can't get in the door, sir. I mean, territorial jurisdiction, in or out of court, the jurisdiction being a threshold issue. Whether or not somebody violated the law is completely irrelevant until you first are able to prove that the laws apply. And so what I'm
right, and look, I agree with you. But what I'm trying to convey is the simple point that the question of whether the law applies to a person is not a matter on which the courts ask the Crown to establish evidence. It's not the starting point. And there are a number of cases in Canada, and I'm sure there are thousands in the States, where people attempt to evade the jurisdiction of the court or the jurisdiction of the state. That's how they try to kind of start the case. And I think the courts in both countries, and probably across the Western world, are very clear that they simply won't entertain that kind of argument. They're always going to say, no, we start from the premise that our laws apply to everyone, and what's your answer to the claim that you've broken the law? That's the only question here.
Okay, so that begs the question. That begs the question, though, being, and we've asked this of judges, and you're right, it tends to stump them, and they call security. But the question being, do these laws apply to me because you said so, or because the prosecution's evidence proves it?
No, it's because we said so. No, it has that quality of just a mere assertion. Because there is something, it's simply an assertion of power and authority. It isn't justified in a rational way, and it's certainly not. It's not justified by evidence. Neither argument nor evidence is made in this respect, and any call for it generally will go unanswered.
That's true.
You'll just be told the starting point.
That's true. However, it really makes a mess of things on cross-examination when, let's say, a tax agent for the CRA or a police officer has made that legal determination and is now on cross-examination dealing with his competency and his credibility. And 100% of the time you do that, you can get the Crown or the state prosecutor to actually impeach his own witness and say the witness isn't qualified. Now the judge is in a real bad spot. He just impeached the only witness against you, that he's not qualified to give legal opinions, and yet the whole thing is based on a legal opinion that you violated the law. I'm glad that you did say it was irrational and it's because we said so. Because that leads me into, because it's not an issue of evidence, whether you're in or out of court. It's just you have men and women asserting it, and it's nothing more than, under all that paperwork is a very real gun and a threat that if you don't do as we tell you, we will go through this thing called a prosecution and we will put you in jail. So my next question is to